So it is time to talk about the new Nest perfume. This is Cardamom Latte. So I've had this for a few days now. And when I initially talked about, I think it was a few weeks ago, when I initially talked about this fragrance coming out, I think I mentioned that I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, or I was a little bit nervous because of the cardamom note. Cardamom is hit or miss for me. Depending on how it's done in a fragrance, I feel like sometimes it's just too much for me and overtakes it and kind of makes the fragrance smell like masculine leaning for me. Other times it's done in a very small dosage. So I wasn't sure which direction they were going to take, but I was hopeful because it's Nest, and I don't think I've smelled a fragrance from Nest that I haven't enjoyed. So I'm very happy to say that this was an absolute instant love for me. They nailed it with this DNA, in my opinion. But first off, let's talk a little bit about the perfumer behind this fragrance, because it is someone who has made a lot of very popular mass appealing DNAs. So I really shouldn't be shocked that she would know how to work with cardamom and still make it very likable. It is Honorine Blanc. She is actually the person behind fragrances like Valentino Donna Born in Roma, Juicy Viva La Couture. Am I saying that wrong? Juicy Couture, the juicy stuff. I think you know what I'm talking about. And she even helped to co-create Black Opium, apparently. So I'm not surprised that she was able to create such a good scent. When you first spray this fragrance, you're hit with, at least I'm hit with coconut, like a creamy, smooth, rich coconut. There are points when I'm like, oh no, is this going to become a little bit of that like synthetic coconut that I hate so much? But it doesn't. It kind of teeters the line, but it doesn't ever get into an area that is unlikable for me. If I didn't know that this was called Cardamom and Latte, I honestly, personally would have never even thought that. And maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm not familiar enough with cardamom. Maybe I'm not picking it out well enough with my nose. I don't know. But all I know is that in comparison to the other fragrances that I've smelled and struggled with that have cardamom, this is nothing like that. You can smell a spice for sure, but I would have thought that it is something like cinnamon or maybe clove, just something in that feel. But you get this, I get this hit of creamy coconut and this spice. As it continues to develop on my skin, I feel like I start to get more of this sweeter, lactonic feel, and it dries down to just the most delicious, almost like vanilla, creamy, coffee-ish type of smell. Even though there's no like coffee or anything, it has something in here that makes it feel very latte-ish. But for sure, very creamy, very vanillic. I don't really smell the jasmine personally, which I'm okay with, as you know, not wanting super loud florals. But overall, it is a creamy, slightly spiced, milky cream drink is the best way that I could describe it. You know what it actually kind of reminds me of? Not to say that it's a one-to-one of either of these fragrances, but I feel like if you like the idea of these two fragrances combined, you may enjoy this. It's kind of like Bianco Latte had a baby with We the People Island Milk with an additional big heavy scoop of creamy vanilla milk, I guess. It's kind of takes elements of those fragrances. I feel like I get this caramel vanilla vibe like I get in Bianco Latte, even though there's no caramel notes listed. I for sure get this almost cinnamon spice, even though there's no cinnamon listed. It must be the cardamom. And for sure, the creaminess. I really, really like this. What I like the most about this fragrance, aside from the very good smell, is the performance. This one, I would feel confident saying, to me, on my skin, performs as a beast mode fragrance. It's very strong and it's very long lasting. I'm in the process of putting together some of my best fall picks type of videos, and I'm telling you, this is going to be there. This is going to be in heavy rotation for me this fall. It is so good. If you're someone like me who is iffy with cardamom, I would for sure go and smell this at Sephora. I think that's where it's being sold at Sephora or Ulta. I think Sephora for sure. Honestly, I feel like it would be a safe blind buy for most people, but because it has cardamom and I know that note can be polarizing, if you can smell it, of course, like any other fragrance, smell it first. But I honestly would not be afraid of it. It doesn't come off like your typical kind of intimidating cardamom note to me, in my opinion. I think this will layer with so many different vanillas, in my opinion. I really think it's going to be an easy one to pair with a lot of different fragrances. This with the vanilla Madagascar oil from Nest is fantastic. I think it's also good with the Maitha oil from Latte, as well as the Bianco Latte fragrance, Eclair from Latte, Noir from Riffs. Anything in that like vanilla, smooth, rich, creamy, or coffee vibe, I really feel like this will pair very well with that one. So it's a great fragrance for me to have in my collection for this upcoming season. So let me know, guys, if this is one that you may be trying out, if you're gonna, take a chance and smell it at Sephora if you walk past it. If you have already smelled it, what are your thoughts? And I'll see you guys back tomorrow for our next episode.